Welcome to a very special episode of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am your MC, Dave-O. This is an extra special episode, gentlemen, because, well, I don't know if you know what's happening here lately. Well, we are deep in the middle of the Dannening.
The what?
The Dannening.
That's the best you got.
Could you use it in a sentence, please?
Yeah.
When we have more than one Dan on the show, it's a Dannening.
Okay.
More than one?
Did I miss the other Dan?
Who's the other Dan?
Who's
Last
the other
week,
Dan?
we had a Dan on the show, Daniel Berry.
Oh.
You're doing
Wow.
this week.
I hope our listeners take notes and that
They're going to come out in consecutive weeks. It's not very hard.
If you turn
Our
in your
listeners are
workbook
incredibly
to last week's episode in your workbook, there was a Dan.
I thought Dannening was funny.
Yeah. You could have said the Dan before time. Something
The
like
Dan
that.
before time is better. See,
Yeah,
dang it.
see, you
The
consult
Dan
with
before
me
time.
before you do this.
The Empire Strikes Back. Anyway, how you doing, Kels?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, Chewbacca?
How are you doing, Andy?
I'm good.
How are you doing? I'm not used to Brody from Andy. Wow.
I'm good.
And how are you doing, Neil?
I was doing better until the Dannening joke.
Oh, man. And now I'd like to introduce the reason for the Dannening joke, our very special guest, Dan.
How's it going, guys? I've got a great
Welcome.
quiz for you this week.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
tell us a little about yourself, Dan.
Well, I'm a senior in nursing school. It's actually the third degree I've pursued. I was a double major in biology and chemistry and then decided a 3.6 GPA wasn't enough to get in medical school, so I went for nursing.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. I commute a lot. So if anyone's familiar with North Carolina, I live and am born from Raleigh. I commute to Lumberton area. I work in Lumberton area too at a hospital there. And I go to school at UNC Pembroke. 3 more months and then hopefully I'm free, take the NCLEX, work as a nurse, fun things, maybe get a doctorate one day.
Nice.
Well done.
Or you're hired. I don't know if it seemed like a job interview for a second, but yeah.
I just a little troubled of you, putting in an IV and going, this is the worst mistake I've ever made.
I love client care. It's just the nursing perspective versus the medical perspective is completely different, surprisingly. So nursing diagnoses would be like fluid imbalance instead of saying dehydration, although dehydration's one as well. But if you have too many fluids and you require a medication called Lasix, which is a diuretic, then it would be fluid overload instead of just saying that they have congestive heart failure, which I find very frustrating.
Wow.
Yeah, and out of that description, all I heard was lasers.
And I think that's a pretty good way for me to tell you and segue into the topic of the quiz, which is medicine. Nice. Good English. Medicine.
I'm intrigued.
I am too. And since this is a science topic, Andy, I hope that you think of me in your nightmares.
Well, before you torture Andy any further, Neil, what are the rules?
Well, the rules are each week we have a theme. Today's theme is medicine. Within that theme, there's 6 categories of 4 questions each. Each question is worth 10 points, a few bonus points thrown in here and there, and then a final question, which is worth up to 100 points. That's it. Those are all the rules.
I think you covered them all.
For the record, I do want to start an official petition to start the lightning bolt back because lightning strikes against Andy were my favorite part. So if there's ever another quiz or if Neil allows it, I'm all down for just zapping the crap out of somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you say somebody,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my vote would be either you or Davo, but Allison's not here, so it's not quite as funny.
yeah.
I hereby declare that today's game will be played by brainstorm rules. So
What?
the lightning bolt is in play.
I suspect that Kels might be the brunt of this, but
Yeah,
let's find
Steve-o.
out.
No,
looking at you,
you're
Kels.
right. You're right.
Looking at you, Kels.
Of course it is.
All right, guys, are you ready to get started?
Absolutely.
Let's do this.
Great. For all of these questions, I can probably come up with an easy mode for half points. I didn't write many of them, but the reason why I can come up with an easy mode is some of them might be harder for people that don't practice medicine. But I wanted to give you a challenge first.
Okay.
So let's start with the easy. Category 1 is vitals. The first thing
Vitals.
anything gets in the doctor's office.
Some vittles.
Every time you go to a doctor's office, you're always asked 2 questions to make sure you're the right person getting the right treatment at the right time and in the right place. What are the 2 most common patient identifiers? Bonus, for 1 point each, what are some other acceptable forms of patient identification in the hospital?
Locked in.
Kels, I feel like you didn't even have to think about that.
I've been to the doctor a lot lately, so I just went with what they
You're
asked
the
me.
healthiest one in the group.
Well, there's a reason for that. It's because I went to the doctor.
I should probably do that. At some point.
Get the old oil changed, tires rotated there, Andy.
Right.
Can't keep
I'm afraid
pushing
he'll
the
tell me
limits.
there's something wrong, so I don't go.
Yeah. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right. The answer for
You gotta-
Davo is...
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, yeah.
You like that catch? I thought it was a good
I did.
catch.
That was a great catch.
Nice.
I said your name and your date of birth. And one of
Okay.
the bonus ones is social security number.
Okay. Kels?
Name, date of birth, and I also said social security number.
Okay. And Andy?
Name, date of birth, and your social security number.
All right. So the answer is name and date of birth, naturally. Some acceptable forms of identification in the hospital are specific patient identifiers like their medical record number, ID number, telephone number, QR code with 2 identifiers, and their RFID. Some hospitals have something that just like you tap into a workplace door. But I do, in my facility, use Social Security as an acceptable form of identification, although it's not necessarily recommended. So we'll accept that.
Yeah, hey.
Very good.
Number 2. Everyone knows that blood pressure is always taken in healthcare. They put a cuff around you, typically on your arm, but they can put it a lot of places, and squeeze until they get a reading. What is this machine called? Specifically, the machine that takes your blood pressure. I don't want to hear any automatic blood pressure machine. The actual name.
I can't pronounce the actual name.
You don't have to pronounce it. If it's ballpark, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Locked in.
I'm going to Andy this pronunciation so badly.
It's the
See, this could be right, and I'm still going to Andy it, and it's going to be terrible. So I'm locked in.
I'll lock in.
All right. So let's start with Kels. Curious.
A blood pressure meter.
Okay. Andy?
The ballpark machine. You said it was in the ballpark.
Very close.
Give it to
Very
us.
close. Maybe Fenway Ballpark, something like
The
that.
best kind of blood pressure.
Yeah. Right.
Measure.
And Davo,
Sphygmometer.
sphygmomanometer is the correct answer. I'll give
Forgot
that
a
to you,
mama
Davo.
nama.
Wow.
That's fine.
Thank you.
It's significantly closer than everything else.
That's like saying banana. No.
Yeah. It basically was.
Question 3. Speaking of blood pressure, what are the 2 numbers' names in order, please? And bonus, what are each of them measuring?
All right. I've got a guess. I'm locked in.
I'm trying to figure out how to. I sort of know what this is. I don't know exactly how to put it into. All right, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right. I believe we start with Andy this time.
I think the top number is the pressure when your heart beats, and the bottom number is the pressure between beats. Or do I have to come up with actual names? I definitely don't know the names.
That is the bonus, but we're looking for the main answer here.
Okay. So that's my main answer.
Okay. Well, Davo.
I believe the top number is diastolic and the bottom number is systolic. And did I flip it?
Go, just continue.
You did.
Oh, crap on a cracker.
Continue.
Why would you put that on a cracker?
And then
I don't know. I really don't know.
it depends on the size of the cracker.
Oh,
And then
No, it doesn't.
the top number is blood into the heart and the bottom number is blood out of the heart.
Okay. And Kels.
Dang it.
Systolic and diastolic. And I think it's the force that your heart produces when it beats over the force that's exerted on your arterial walls, I think, in between beats.
Okay.
Something like that.
Neil, I'm going to need a little help judging on whether or not we should do half points for flipping them, although I did specifically ask for them in order.
Yeah, I think if we gave Davo credit for his answer, then people would start dying.
That's okay with me.
That's a lot of pressure on me. I'm gonna forfeit the even thought of getting points for that.
However, I think that Andy and Kels got the bonus. The way that I've always had it explained to me is that systolic is the peak pressure in the arteries when the heart is contracting, so not necessarily a heartbeat, because a heartbeat is actually the valves opening and closing, not so much the contraction part.
Mhm.
And the lowest pressure when the heart is relaxing.
So when
So
the valve,
it's just the pressure exerted on your arteries when your heart pushes the blood, mostly your left ventricle more than anything else, pushes your
Right.
blood to your rest of your body, and then when it relaxes while it's in between beats, per se.
so when it's pushing blood out, it's the top number, or when it's
Yep, systolic.
moving-
Mhm.
I had it all flipped. Every single thing.
little
I knew
bit.
what I was talking about. If it was Bizarro World, I'd win.
Anyways, question 4. Another thing we love to measure is pulse. A common place to manually feel for a pulse is the wrist. Do you know what artery radiates this pulse when we feel for it in your wrist?
I think that's right.
It's the one with
Sure.
the blood in it.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked
All
in
of your
with a
blood
guess.
vessels should have blood in it, unless you have
Okay.
coronary artery disease from gravy
Right.
inhalation.
Possibly.
Somebody
I'm
knows your
locked in.
medical history.
Andy's lived quite a life.
It's got the charts on Andy.
I think we're at Kels.
I was thinking brachial for a minute, but I think that stops at the elbow. So I said radial.
Okay, and Andy.
I said radial.
And Davo.
I said radial.
All right, I think everybody caught the slight little clue I put in there. You can thank Neil for that. I threw you a bone. Radial artery is the answer, and you are correct, Kels. The brachial artery starts or ends at your elbow. I also messed that up when I made this quiz, so don't feel bad. Caught it on the rewrites. That's okay. All right, so let's get some scores here.
Well, at the end of round 1, Andy has 23, Davo 31, Kels 33.
Okay, I'm still in
All
it.
right.
It's anybody's game.
Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty close game. All right. Category 2.
It's
And
early.
this is for you, Andy, is music.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm very worried about this.
We'll see if it is the type of music that Andy enjoys, however, because there are no Beatles.
Okay, there's been a
do love the
couple
Beatles,
songs
though.
outside
We'll
the
give you
Beatle oeuvre.
Far more than I have when it comes to classic rock. Anyways, number 1 in Zack Snyder's 2004 remake of the classic George A. Romero film, Dawn of the Dead. what Jazzy covered is ironically featured during a long-distance chess match?
Locked in.
I'm going to lock in with my answer.
I'm locked in with a total guess.
I think we are at Kels, maybe?
We can be. I sat down with the sickness.
Are you kidding me right now?
Mm-hmm.
Andy?
I was going off of the chess match clue and went with White Rabbit.
Okay. And Davo?
I was going off the chess match clue and went with One Night in Bangkok.
See, that's the one I couldn't get out of my head.
Yeah.
That's from the chess soundtrack, but I guess he does talk about chess in it a little bit.
I get my kicks above the
waistline. Sunshine.
I know White Rabbit. I don't know the other one.
Just not my genre. Anyways, Kels is correct to the surprise of no one, and it is Down with the Sickness.
It's a movie question. It's a music question in a movie.
If you're going to ask the questions, don't display such utter favoritism.
Yeah.
Okay? Just
I
for
don't
me.
know. It's not utter yet.
Really?
Oh,
We already live in the shadow of Kels.
Mr. D&D doesn't want any favoritism.
Number 2. If you've ever taken a CPR class, you should know that 2 classic songs are used to keep the proper tempo during chest compressions. The Bee Gees' Staying Alive and, ironically, Queen's Another One Bites the Dust. What beats per minute were these songs recorded at? And, for a bonus, for 2 points each, what are some new songs that can also be used in their stead? And I'll give you a sliding scale of 10 beats a minute for this.
I'm guessing Give Me Chocolate would be too fast.
that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
remember,
am
we're trying to do chest compressions here, not just, I
I'm
don't know, jiggle
totally
some
lost
jello.
on this one, gang.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Let's go, Andy.
60?
Whoa.
Okay.
Come again?
Yep.
Whoa.
Do you have any bonuses?
No.
Okay. Davo?
So lost in this episode.
I said 120. And I
Okay.
think Uptown Funk is at 120.
All right. And Kels?
I said 110. And We Trying to Stay Alive by Wyclef Jean, which samples Staying Alive.
You
That
dirty
seems
dog.
cheaty.
That does seem cheaty, but we trying to stay alive, you saying?
We Trying to Stay Alive.
Okay. Well, the answer is 100 beats a minute.
Dang it.
So I am sorry, Davo. And to add on to that is that Uptown Funk is at very close to 120, 117 beats a minute. I am checking We Trying to Stay Alive right now.
Oh, boy.
Please be there. Please be there.
Well, I cannot find it.
I'm getting the wrong things
99
right.
beats a minute. I'll give it to you.
Oh.
Sure. Anything at or around 100 beats a minute is what you'd want to use for CPR to improve their circulation manually. And you want to make sure that not only do you press hard enough that you get blood everywhere into their system, but you want to make sure you give them enough time in between compressions so that their heart refills, and so it's not just useless squishing.
Right.
And painful. Very painful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. I have a couple other songs just for fun as WAP.
I
Just
don't-
Dance.
I don't want that.
Rumor has it.
Oh,
And Sweet
I was
Home
actually,
Alabama.
Rumor has it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
So if you think about it, it's just like dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun
yeah.
dun dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun. So just every
Yeah,
time
there
that's
you
the
go.
beat. All right. Anyways, question 3. Dolly Parton once wrote a song for one of her nieces to comfort her during her battle with cancer. What is the name of this song? Bonus, what type of cancer did her niece have?
I think I know this because I read an article about it. Because the niece is a little kid, if I remember right. And I think I know the answer to this. I'm locked in.
Locked in.
All right, I'm locked in.
All right, let's start with Davo.
I said I will always love you. And for the bonus, the type of cancer, I don't know, but I figured leukemia.
Okay. And Kels?
Ditto for me. I will always love you and leukemia.
Okay. And Andy?
It's much more recent than that. It's Butterfly Garden. And the niece does have, or I believe did, I think she's passed, leukemia.
The answer that I have is chemo hero, and the cancer is indeed leukemia. So does that count as a half sweep?
No, I give there were points scored, so I don't do a sweep for.
So
Why
close.
was I
Don't
thinking
worry.
the song was called Butterfly Garden?
Anyways, question 4. Grey's Anatomy. Of course, you had to have a question about this in medicine. One of the most popular TV shows ever made has 2 songs that are almost a meme worthy when they are played, as they almost always are played in tangent with a major character's tragic death. What are these 2 songs? Half points for just one.
Never watched 1 minute of Grey's Anatomy.
Neither have I.
I've seen a few episodes, but I don't know what this is. I'm like, it's not right, but it's the only song I associate with Grey's Anatomy.
Man, I might be thinking of Dawson's Creek.
It's super close. I can see how you got
very much. I just have that stupid Paula Cole song stuck in my head, and I'm pretty sure that's Dawson's Creek.
I don't want to wait.
I don't want to. Yeah, exactly. I don't
for my
wait.
lunch to get colder.
Oh boy, this is awful.
Toyota. I want the car that's got a lot of gas. Family Guy.
So have we
Family
managed to
Guy's
lock in
long.
for anyone, or
I like it.
I'm locked in. Oh, this was not a good category for me.
Andy?
In the Arms of the Angel.
Dang it, you took my joke.
Arms.
Are we
I
talking
don't know, Roy
about
Orbison's
animals
crying.
here, or we're going
Sure.
back to medicine?
Well, it's Grey's Anatomy spinoff, Grey's Anatomy DVM.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Davo?
Of course, Sarah McLachlan's Angel. Of course. And the other song has got to be WAP.
Nice.
It's got to be.
Nice.
Oh, Lord. And Kels?
I said How to Save a Life by The Fray.
Oh.
And do you have one for a second one?
I don't.
Okay.
I only had one.
The answer is Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol and How to Save a Life by The Fray. Kels, I'm very angry at you.
Chasing
I don't
Cars.
watch it. Chasing
I
Cars.
love Chasing Cars by
Chasing
Snow
Cars
Patrol.
is a good song.
That's a really good song.
It is
the
a good
Fray
song.
is from Colorado. Did you know that?
I
From
I
Colorado.
did. I think I
do
actually
now.
heard that in one
Fort
of your shows.
Collins, Colorado.
Did you
Home
deliver
of Colorado
pizza
State
there?
University.
Okay. You deliver pizza there.
Colorado.
All right. We get it.
All right, Neil. Score update.
Scores are Andy has 25 points, which is 2 more than he had at the end of round 1.
Thank you, Neil.
Davo has 33, which is also 2 more than he had at the end of round 1.
Nickels and dimes, baby. Nickels and dimes.
Kels has 61, which is a lot more than he had at the end of.
A little bit.
I don't know if this is a good or I mean it's a good thing for me at least is that I thought this was going to be the easiest one of the categories. So
Mm,
yikes.
mm.
Category 3, cardiology.
Oh, jeez.
I've
Like
recently
it's
been
me
reading a lot of
grousing.
like 5 leads and 12 leads in my classes, and I found out that I really, really like cardiology. So you should be very glad that I didn't do that beforehand because they would have been much worse. So here's general ones.
Thank you.
Heart attacks are one of the most common medical emergencies in the United States. In a hospital setting, a code STEMI is often called if someone is experiencing a severe heart attack. What does STEMI stand for?
I know with 2 of the letters stand for?
Of course you do, Kels.
Shut it.
All right, I'm locked in.
I thought the question was going to be what's another name for a heart attack.
That would be great.
I was ready for that one, but
I thought it was going to be a question about Queen's heart attack, the song, but no.
Great song, though.
Yeah. You know what? Ray Guy. I got nothing. Ray Guy.
Ooh, first pun of the day.
Hang time.
All right, let's start with Andy.
Now Ray Guy comes in for his first punt of the day. Kick is away. There's a high, twisting, hang time spiral.
You know, that Ray Guy beat would kill somebody on the old CPR.
Mm-hmm.
David, what's your answer?
My answer. It's STEMI. I said, shit, tachycardia, emergency medical intervention.
Wow.
Nice.
I appreciate nice.
I will give you the points.
I will petition for that to be the official change. And anyways, Kels,
I was
before I get
second
fired?
that. But I said someone's tragically experiencing myocardial infarction.
Oh, Kels, you're killing me with the quarter. I don't even know what Neil's going to score this as points.
It doesn't matter anymore.
STEMI stands for ST elevated myocardial infarction. You have a bunch of segments on basically, if you were looking at telemetry, where the QRS complex would be the big ventricular depolarization, and the ST segment, when it's repolarizing, if that's elevated and you're having a heart attack, then that would be an ST elevated myocardial infarction, which would be the most dangerous type of heart attack.
Yeah.
Well, there
All
you go.
right. Number 2. Speaking of heart attacks, a common mistake in TV shows is shocking someone with a defibrillator when they do not have a heartbeat to bring them back to life. What is the medical term for having no pulse? And as a bonus, what are the 3 shockable rhythms for 2 points each?
What is the medical term for having no pulse? So you're looking for something other than dead.
I mean, if you don't have a pulse, I have brought many people back from having no pulse, so they're not dead.
Locked in.
Well, there's Rhythm Nation. And Rhythm is a dancer. I'm actually gonna Ray Guy it on this one.
Ooh,
Oh, there you go.
spicy. Hang time.
Surprise.
It's not even on yet.
Gotta enjoy something, man.
All right, let's start with Davo.
Now Ray Guy comes in for his first punt of the day. Kick is away. There's a high, twisting, hang time spiral.
All right, Kels, what you got?
I said flatlining.
Okay.
So did I on my paper.
And Andy?
If you say that's right, Dan, I'm gonna be upset.
Cardiac arrest.
Okay.
The job of a chimney sweep comes with a great deal of
I
responsibility.
felt good about that one.
So it would be a situation of cardiac arrest. However, just the beat itself is called asystole or lack of systolic pulse.
Oh, see,
That's
I
all
was,
back to
Yep.
systolic blood pressure.
I
Yep.
Anytime
running
you
through
have an
my-
A in front of it, like apnea and sleep apnea is lack of breathing.
Yep.
And the
So-
3 shockable rhythms, which no one guessed at, were VFib, fibrillation, ventricular fibrillation, and that's when it's not even contracting, but your muscles just kind of, if you ever seen a twitch in your arm or something like that, it's kind of like that in your heart.
okay.
VTAC, ventricular tachycardia, which is tachycardia originating from the ventricle or AV node underneath it. And SVT, which is supraventricular tachycardia, which means that the pulse is originating from above the ventricle, although not at the standard SA node of the heart, which shouldn't mean anything for anybody who doesn't care about where heart's electrical impulses are.
See, I've heard of VFib and I've heard of VTAC because of medical shows.
Yeah, so basically when you have these conditions, it's a big problem and they're called life-threatening arrhythmias.
Okay.
Okay. And number 3 is, now that we've figured out what we can and can't shock, what does a defibrillator actually do?
It makes people clear. Because that's what they shout at them. So I presume it's clear in their head.
Hey, man,
Like
I mean, that's not
water.
the first person that tried to shock someone in the head and see if they change their mind.
I'm locked in.
What does a defibrillator do?
Defibrillator.
I said that. Defibrillator.
So close, man. Good thing we don't take off for spelling or pronunciation, or we'd have some problems.
Defibrillator? Fibro? Right? No, I don't. That word has lost all meaning. What?
What are you trying to say?
My life has lost all meaning. I am lost in this episode. I need a map. I am throwing lightning into Kels' face, is what I'm doing.
Finally, somebody.
Boom!
I got nothing.
I'll play your game, you rogue.
Oh, Neil, I really hope the sound effects there.
Okay.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yes, I'm locked in.
Kels?
I said kick switch.
Oh, come on.
All right, Andy, what you got?
Well, I have nothing because I threw the lightning bolt.
That doesn't negate your own
No, that
answer.
doesn't negate your own answer.
Oh, I'd forgotten the rules to lightning bolting.
Andy didn't answer.
I don't have an answer.
He was too busy
All right, well,
being
can you
petty.
throw one out
I
there in
literally
10
have a
seconds?
picture of a bolt of lightning on my paper.
All right, so we'll say that, like the symbol on a defibrillator, you answered lightning bolt.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure. Anyways, Davo.
I said shock the heart back into rhythm.
Okay. I think Davo's got it there. Is that it stops the heart, and we kind of hope that when it starts beating, it remembers to do it correctly.
Yes.
Anyways, the most common way to see how a heart is doing and to diagnose a heart attack is an EKG/ECG, depending on who you're asking. They're the same thing, and these are also known as 12 leads. What does a 12 lead measure? And as a bonus, how many leads are in a 12 lead? 2 points for the bonus. I forgot to put that in. Sorry.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in with that, but I know nothing about the 12 lead. All right, I'm locked in.
Oh boy. All right, I'm locked in.
All right, let's start with Davo.
I said heart rate and blood pressure because I really don't know. And for your 12 lead question, I said 6.
Okay. Kels.
Oh, crap. That's
You're starting to figure out my okays, huh?
that was very patronizing. Okay, Daniel. I don't like it.
Don't feel too bad, Davo. I said it measures electrical activity of the heart, and I was thinking it was a dirty dozen type thing, and I went with 6.
All right. And
I feel worse about it now.
Yeah.
I have a similar answer to Kels. The electrical impulse to the heart, the impulse that's telling the heart to beat, that I presume comes from the brain. So that electrical impulse, and I think it's measuring a baker's dozen.
Okay.
So the 12 lead has 13 leads.
12 lead has 13 leads. It's a baker's dozen.
All right. So the answer I have, and you were doing pretty good, Andy, until you said something about the brain, but I still would argue that that's probably full points, is that it's the electrical output of the heart. So it's basically seeing where your heart is firing and how it's firing, because it goes from the SA node to the AV node to the bundle of His and then to the Purkinje fibers. And so we're trying to see and get a look at your heart from 10 different places. 10 leads.
10 leads.
Then why do they call it a 12 lead?
I have literally no idea.
There were 2
That
possibles.
is so dumb.
Two
I
alternates on the
believe,
team.
if I had to guess, that it's because it takes 2 of the electrodes and you see through where the 2 electrodes are. So the place that they're placed is left arm, left leg, right arm, right leg, and then you have V1 through 6 on your heart. V1 is basically on your right pec. V2 is next pec, and then just a circle around your heart. And so I think it's just the amount of different looks you get at the heart. I'm not really sure. That's an educated guess.
Way more educated than I was going with.
Well, I did go to school for this, and you didn't, so I'd hope I do better.
I was being complimentary, Daniel.
If I don't do better, all I'm saying is that you probably don't want me as your nurse.
Yeah. I don't think he meant it as a slight.
Neil, can we get a score update?
Okay, so at the end of round 3, Andy has 35, Davo 43, and Kels 77.
All right, I'm catching them.
Anybody's game.
So our score combined, Andy, is 1 point more than his score.
I take that as a win.
Sure.
I think it's a win too. You guys have met my first goal for tonight, and that is I would really want to sweep before category 3. So thank you very much.
All right.
Our
I
pleasure.
feel great about that. That's what we're here for.
Thank you. Thank you. And category 4, going back to hopefully slightly easier, is network TV.
Okay.
This could be bad.
We'll see. Number 1. One of my favorite medical TV shows, Scrubs, is often lauded as one of the most accurate depictions of internal medicine training in TV despite its aloof and disjointed nature. One of my favorite nuggets of trivia was that during its title sequence, it had a blatant error that was fixed by Dr. Kim Briggs while saying, "That's backwards and it's been bugging me for years." What did they fix?
Oh, man. I am a fan of this show, and I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I'm locked
okay.
in.
I'm locked in.
I think I know. Yes. I'm locked in.
I think I can.
Stop it.
Let's do, I think we're at Andy.
I think it was a chest x-ray she flips around. It was like on one of those lit screens on the wall.
Okay. And Davo.
I also said the chest x-ray.
And Kels.
Man, I've never seen Scrubs, so I said
It's very funny.
the printing of ambulance on an ambulance.
It is indeed a chest x-ray. It was backwards, and there's actually a lot of history on it. They try to change it a bunch of times, and there's just kind of a miss, but there's one where they specifically address that it was backwards. And I really love the show. It's really funny, and it's relatively accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, the girls got me watching that when they still lived at home.
Well, it's great.
Back in the
I've
day.
found a lot of entertainment from it. Plus, it's only 30 minutes, so I don't have to pay attention nearly as long. It's great. Number 2 is another famous medical TV drama, again, is Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, come
I know
on.
everyone was waiting for the second question, so I'll get it out of the way. Of the original cast, how many characters still have recurring roles in the show? And as a bonus, what are the actors' names and characters for 1 point each for a total of 6 points possible in the bonus?
On the bonus?
I don't know anything about the show.
Please.
I'm locked in.
Andy, you watch this?
No, I don't know anything about the show. I've never
So this
seen
is
5
just-
seconds of it. I don't know who's in it. I'm locked in.
Hold on.
I have a theory.
I have a theory, too.
And you want real names as part of the bonus too, right?
Yes.
Ah,
So they're names of the actors/actresses and their character names.
And the characters.
well, I got no clue.
You don't need both of them for points. Each one counts as a single point, but you get more points by having them.
I'm locked in with an answer.
I'm locked in, too.
All right, let's start with Davo.
I said there were 2. One was Ellen Pompeo, and the other was Sandra Oh. And that's all I know.
And the
Even
really
Allison's
got me. I
laughing at
tried
me.
to hold together, but I couldn't. It's really hard to do that when you're asking the questions, Neil. A lot of credit for that because I'm cracking up here. Andy.
It's easier for Neil because he doesn't have a sense of humor.
Snap.
Oh, Andy's
There are
right.
four
Testy now.
characters that are still on the show. Dr. Davo, played by Chris
Yeah.
O'Donnell.
Yep.
Dr. Sensei, played by Christopher Waltz.
Isn't it Christoph?
Dr.
It's Christoph.
That's right, Christoph.
Well,
Right.
Christopher Waltz is the guy from Hackensack. We couldn't
that
afford
works.
Christophos.
I don't think that's what it's going for, but that's okay.
Dr. Kels, played by Flavor Flav.
That's your last time. Last time.
I thought we were going to go with Barack Obama for that one, but that's okay.
That's
Dr.
the last
Andy,
one.
played by John Legend.
Yeah, because everything about that sounds accurate.
Yeah, right.
That's what we're gonna do.
Kels, you want to bring us back into the semi?
I'll try. All right, so I said 5.
What?
You got Gray or Meredith. That's Ellen Pompeo. Christina Yang, Sandra Oh, and I don't know Alex and the Chief. Real like the actors who played
Alex
them.
and the Chief.
Yeah, he's like the Chief. It's Richard, I think, is his name.
Right.
And Bailey is played by Chandra Wilson. I know those
Okay.
3.
So,
The
Neil,
Chief.
you're going to have to help me here because I have lost track of that particular amount of names.
I've never been so disappointed in a group of people in my life.
Whoa.
Wow.
Neil has never
Allison
heard our
is a little
feelings
bit
that
meaner
much.
than I am, so it's even
Yeah.
funnier.
Allison. Jeez.
I want to hurt.
So here's how I would score that one.
Sure.
Davo gets 1 point
Woot.
for knowing that Ellen Pompeo was on the show.
An answer to many questions on the show, for the record.
Andy got none, obviously.
Obviously.
I feel like you should get some for creativity. I like the casting, but
And so the correct answer, by the way, was 3. And Davo or Kels, you got because you didn't know the Chiefs, the actor's name, you
Mhm.
get 5 of the 6 bonus points.
All right.
I think that's fair. That's very
Ellen
fair. You did
Pompeo
great,
plays
Kels.
Meredith Grey, Chandra Wilson, Bailey, and James Pickens Jr. is Richard Webber.
Mm.
All right. So here's the Andy special for question 3.
Thank goodness.
MASH
Mm-hmm.
is
Oh,
another show
man.
that I bet almost every household has heard of. There's a lot of fun facts about this show, and I had a hard time narrowing it down, but I'm hoping this isn't a repeat. And what are the only 3 characters that appear in both the pilot and the finale?
Ooh.
Okay.
Characters played by the same actor or characters?
Okay, extra hint would be that one of them is not played by the same actor in the pilot and the finale.
Okay.
That made it a lot easier. He said sarcastically.
I was
because
going to
he
ask
knows
it as a
nothing about
bonus,
this
but
show.
then I forgot to write in the paper, so congratulations, free hint.
Woot.
I got 3 characters.
I've got my 3 characters. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, Kels.
I said Hawkeye, Radar, and Hot Lips.
What was that noise, Davo?
Am I
Can
that
we,
wrong,
Can
Davo?
we get your
No, that's
answer, or is Luke your answer?
My answers are Hawkeye, Radar, and Father Mulcahy.
Okay, and Andy.
Yeah, Radar is the only one. I think Father Mulcahy might be as well, but Radar and Father Mulcahy for sure. And I thought it was Trapper.
So what I have, and Neil, I'm thinking definitely, like split it up into points here, is Hawkeye, Margaret Houlihan, and Father Mulcahy.
Oh,
Not Radar.
I thought it was Radar.
I thought it was Radar too. Why was
And
I
I
thinking
can, I
that?
can, I can
Radar
look that up to be
was
sure.
in-
No, it's all right.
Radar was in the pilot.
No,
Well, that's not the same as
episode,
the
though.
movie.
He went home before the finale because that's when Klinger started to step up and not be so weird.
Oh, wait a minute. I misunderstood the question. I thought you were saying what characters from the movie carried on to the TV show.
Yeah,
You're talking about what
Nope,
characters
definitely
were
the
in the
pilot and the
first
finale.
episode.
You made that all the way
Oh.
up, Andy.
Yeah, Radar
Crap.
Radar left before season 9.
So Neil, would you be ever so kind as to help me with the scoring for that one?
Yeah, Kels and Davo both got 2 of those for 8 points. Andy got 1 for 4 points.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, and is while it's not exactly medical, I love Marvel. So Doctor Strange does feature some small nuggets of medicine here and there in the movie. When Doctor Strange gets gravely injured roughly in the middle of the movie, he suffers from a serious medical condition called cardiac tamponade. What is this condition? And I have an easy mode for half points.
I'm locked in.
It is not a dip.
It sounds like a dip.
I know.
Might be spicy.
I can spell it for you if you'd like.
No, that's all right. It really wouldn't help. Could I have an easy mode, please?
Easy mode for me too.
Channeling my inner Barry here, it was treated in the movie with aspiration with a needle and syringe. And a little extra, aspiration means that you're pulling back on the needle, not injecting someone with it.
All right, I'm locked in with my guess.
Also, I don't think a single time Barry has given an easy mode has helped me.
Wow. Now the fans are talking smack about Barry.
I get smoked by his questions. It's pitiful.
He writes a good question, but oh my God, those easy modes questions.
I mean, I love both of them. It just shows me how little I truly know.
I'm locked in.
All right, let's start with the non-easy mode first. Andy, what you got?
It's when there's fluids that collect around the heart, and that presses against the heart, and the heart can't beat properly. It can't pump properly.
Okay, Davo?
I said fluid on the heart.
Okay, and Kels.
I'm not alone. I said fluid buildup around the heart.
And I would say you are all correct. Fluid, in this case blood from penetrating trauma, surrounds the pericardium, which is the sac that surrounds the heart and lets it kind of beat in your body's form of lubricant, and prevents the ventricles from completely refilling with blood. And basically it causes a decrease in cardiac output that can be fatal because you don't get enough oxygen to the rest of your blood, specifically your brain.
Right. That was a really helpful easy mode. Thank you.
It was a very.
I did my best.
That was the anti-Barry easy mode.
Well, I didn't know if it was going to be or not, because if you don't remember what they did, it might not be super helpful. But can we get a score update, Neil?
Why, sure we can. At the end of round 4, Andy has 59, Davo 67, Kels 95.
All right.
So I just looked up tamponade, and it's a dip.
It is a dip.
There's definitely a
tasty
dip.
sounding dip.
Delightful dip.
I could go for some right now. But,
that would be great.
it would taste better than cardiac tamponade, I'll tell you that much.
I imagine so.
Okay, and now we're at category 5, which is pharmacology.
Drugs, man.
All right, this is where I score.
You holding?
I mean,
what? Oh,
You holding.
Number 1.
Uh-huh.
When you administer medication, there are quite a few different routes of administration that you could take. For 2 points each, what do each of these administration route abbreviations stand for? IM, IV, IO, sub-Q, PR, and PO.
The last two were PR and PO.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Puerto Rico and post office.
PR and PO. I felt real good about the first 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to lock in with what I have. PR and PO are stumping me.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start with Andy.
Oh, great.
You sounded excited about pharmacology. Yep. I wanted to reward you.
But not about pronunciations, though.
IM is intramuscular, which is the way, I believe it's the way the vaccine for COVID's being done. Intravenously, IV, IO, intraorally, sub-Q. That means Q from the pilot of Next Generation gives it to you.
I was hoping for some James Bond there.
That was the Q branch, Andy. It's so
Q
easy.
branch. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
I like the Q continuum myself.
PR post rectum and PO post oral.
I just figured out what they are now.
Really?
All right. Davo, the
For
figure
mine.
outer, if you would be ever so kind to give me the wrong answers.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I just figured out what the last two are, and I didn't write them down.
I don't know.
You can write them down, but they won't count. Does that help?
Well, I'll just say them out loud since we're all locked in anyway. IM is intramuscular. IV is intravenous. Venously.
Venus, if you will.
Intraoral, IO. Sub-Q is subcutaneous, which is under the skin.
Oh.
PR is, I think, post-recovery. And PO, I think, is pre-op.
Post-op or pre-op.
Post-op or pre-op. I'm going with pre-op.
All
But
right.
no, it wouldn't-
And those weren't written down, or those are the ones you figured out?
The last two were not written down. The first four were.
All right. And Kels, what you got?
Okay, well, 3 of them I am very confident in, and the others I couldn't come up with like the medical terminology, but I kind of guess what they were. I doubt I get points for that, but anyway, intramuscular, intravenous, subcutaneous. The IO, I was thinking that was into the bone, so, but the word escapes me.
Intraosteo.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. PR, I was thinking rectal, and PO orally.
All right. So I think, Neil, that in the bone should count as half of that. IM is intramuscular. IV is intravenous. IO is intraosseous. Sub-Q is subcutaneous, which technically isn't under the skin. That would be subdermal, but that's okay. You got it anyway.
What's subcutaneous then?
You have cutaneous tissue, which is your fat tissue. So you have cutaneous sites, which would be your thighs, your belly, about 2 inches away from your belly button, and then the back of your arms. And then perrectal would be PR, and peroral would be PO. Although I have heard it called post-rectal and post-oral. So I think that should be counted, although best vernacular is per rectal and per oral, according to my facility.
Okay, so in that case, Devo got 3 for 6 points. Andy got 4 for 8 points, and Kels got 4.5 for 9 points.
Number 2, in an inpatient setting, you're often given heparin and Lovenox prophylactically to prevent what complication of hospitalization that may need some thinning out?
Locked in?
What?
Locked in?
Heparin. That sounds so familiar.
You probably know what it was if you watch more Grey's Anatomy.
Heparin sounds so familiar. Yeah. My dad had to take that. Yeah. Got it. Locked in.
All right, let's start with Devo.
Blurred.
Quote unquote blurred for the record, Neil. Kels?
I said blood clotting.
Okay. And Andy?
Blood clotting.
All right, the answer is to prevent blood clots and / pulmonary embolism caused by a thrombus going there. Yeah.
So I'm totally right?
You said blurred.
No.
It's blurred.
Well, I mean,
You got to thin that blurred.
the way you asked the question, you said complications of hospitalization that may need some thinning out. I think you're saying it would thin the blood, which is what that stuff does, right?
It literally is. It's an anti-clotting factor. So heparin and Lovenox are both blood thinners used to prevent blood clots and or treat deep vein thrombosis, which is a deep vein clot. I'll leave it up to you, Neil.
I think he knew what it was, and
my dad had blood clots in his legs.
Is whiskey a blood thinner?
All right, so full points for everyone. Then, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3. There are many types of IV fluids, but some of the most commonly administered is normal saline, lactated ringers, and D5W. I've got a multiple choice here for you. Are these solutions isotonic, hypertonic, hypotonic, or regular? And bonus, What percent sodium is normal saline? Also, be happy because Neil made me rewrite this question.
It was harder before.
Did you add in the multiple choice element? Neil?
I most certainly did, and I also flipped around what I was asking, but that's okay.
Hypo, hyper, regular,
And
unleaded,
isotonic.
Yes, it is
and
definitely diesel.
isotonic. Yeah.
I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
All right. I'm going to say that. Regular. It's going to be regular, and I'm not even going to say that. Watch it be regular. That's so annoying.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
And
Regular.
Andy, are you locked in?
I locked in first.
All right, perfect. Let's start with you then.
I think it's regular.
Andy, a bonus?
What percent is 20%?
Okay. Let's go Davo.
Regular. Well, I said hyper.
Okay.
Hypertonic.
Mm.
And I said 30% is my bonus.
Okay. Kels?
Oh, man.
I said isotonic, and I said 0.7%.
Ooh.
It's going to be regular, guys.
Hang on, before you read the answer, I want to point out that the average salinity of salt water is 3.5%.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So,
It has been,
Keep in mind that if you drink
stated-
salt water, you can get super dehydrated super quick.
So here's the thing. It's been stated over and over and over and over that I am bad at scale, right, and numbers.
Yes. We
You gave
determined
me a
that with
scale.
the volume of the ocean. Was that the question that was?
Yes,
really-
you gave me a scale. I went with what I had.
Yep.
You like that deep cut there, Andy?
I'm impressed. And I want to go on the record. I misunderstood. I thought you were asking what percentage of sodium was a chicken McNugget, and I answered 20%. And I
I'm
think that's
guessing that it's
valid.
probably closer to 100. You know, just
What percentage of sodium is ramen noodles? All.
also 100.
Also.
Definitely super bad for your blood pressure. Anyways,
Yes.
are you ready, Neil?
Yeah.
The answer is isotonic, which science major should get if they did chemistry at all. Isotonic solutions means that they are the same as the solution that you're introducing them to, essentially. And the bonus is 0.9%. And since everyone was so far off except for Kels, Neil, what do you think about its scale?
I think since it's a bonus, there's no points.
Yeah, it's okay.
No points.
I get
All right, you got it.
I knew it was somewhere down there.
You don't need to step on our throats.
So all
Two
of
whole
these
points.
fluids would be given to just keep you hydrated, essentially. There's different things to do with each one, but basically it's to keep you hydrated, and if you have the normal amount of electrolytes, so sodium and potassium. Regular was the throwaway because I thought 3 was too weird. So I made it 4.
I think if someone
Devo?
hasn't made a mixed drink called the lactated ringer, then there's an opportunity.
It's out there. It's out there.
It's like a white Russian with absinthe in it. Lactated ringer.
Dave, I've decided I want to learn how to play D&D.
All right. Number 4. To end the science category with a bit of a softball, what are the only types of infections that antibiotics can treat?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Oh, man. That's between 2 in my head. All right, I'm writing it down. All right, I'm locked in.
All right, let's start with, I think, Kels.
I said bacterial infections.
Andy?
Viral.
Davo?
I said viral.
Okay. The answer is bacterial infections. A common misconception is that antibiotics can treat all sorts of sicknesses. They can only treat ones that are caused by bacteria. Antivirals are for viruses, such as Tamiflu for the flu. And antifungals are used for yeast/fungus. There's many different types of fungal infections, but a good example of that would be a yeast infection.
We could get a D&D game going right now, Davo.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Are we?
I've got a lightning bolt left for Kels. It's all good.
Okay.
And Kel still has one for, I'm guessing, Andy.
Great.
It's going into the rainy day fund. Don't you worry.
Rainy day fun.
All right, Neil, what is the score update?
Scores
It's
at
not
the end
necessary.
of round 5. Andy has 77. Davo 83, and Kels 134.
No, I'm coming for you, Kels.
I can
This
be
is
caught.
fun.
I can be
Yeah.
caught. I can be caught.
And we're gonna mute your mic.
With the amount of times I've asked if everybody's locked in, I just ask until someone said something, so it's okay. All right. Category 6 is diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes.
Number 1. The most common form of diabetes is diabetes mellitus. It primarily deals with sugar. A less common form of diabetes is diabetes insipidus, which primarily deals with what solvent?
Solvent.
I'm locked in. Fancy myself a bit of an expert on the diabetes.
Diabetes. I'm locked in, I guess.
I'm locked in.
Let's start with Davo.
Well, I went with the universal solvent, water.
Water World?
Oh,
Kels?
great. I'm just writing an X on the score sheet right there.
Kels?
I know it's more you can't, like, you always have an intense thirst and like you have to pee a lot. So I said salt water.
Okay. And Andy.
Yeah, I knew that from what I knew exactly the symptoms as Kels described, because there was a period of my life where I almost thought maybe I had that. Turned out I was a hypochondriac. I just had to pee a lot. But I put down sodium.
Okay. So my answer and what I was taught is that it is water, the universal solvent.
Yeah.
However, salt is also involved. I did throw out that little tidbit that Davo caught.
Nice.
Salt is also involved, so I'll leave it up to Neil for whether or not salt water should be included. But you guys both have the symptoms correct. And fun fact, I had no idea about what this was until I took nursing. I was like, "There's another diabetes? What?"
Since you actually included the salt thing in the answer you wrote down, I'm gonna give credit for salt and water.
Woohoo!
Cool.
Yay.
But I would like to emphasize it is primarily to do with just a water imbalance, a fluid
I'm just
imbalance.
trying to crack 100 at this point.
Well, I think you got it with the final question regardless. Anyways,
Oh, thank goodness.
question number 2. Diabetic ketoacidosis, which is abbreviated DKA, is a medical emergency where the body does not produce enough insulin to counter the amount of sugar that is consumed. One way to tell if a person is suffering from this condition is a distinct scent. What is the smell and where does it come from?
Do you smell brownies?
I actually have 2 boxes of Ghirardelli brownies
Okay.
waiting for me right now, so
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in 2, and I'm zapping Kels in the face with a lightning bolt.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I'm locked in.
That'll go. Another Quelo here.
all right, let's start with Andy.
Yeah, I'm sticking with brownies. I got nothing.
What you got, Davo?
It's you have funky breath. It's like a fruity smell in your breath.
Because
All
fruit
right.
smells funky.
Yeah, I just like that's a pretty general.
So is it funky breath or
It's
which one is it?
funky for your normal breath. It's like rotting fruit smell. It's bad breath
Oh,
because your body's going through ketosis and it's burning fats and nasty shit, and it smells like rotten fruit
okay.
and shit.
I mean, I think Davo actually described that pretty well.
Yeah.
And Kels, what you got?
Shouldn't-
There it is.
You know what your problem is, pussycat? You got nothing to do with your life. I was going to say fruity breath before I was so rudely interrupted.
Yes, the answer is fruity acetone smelling breath. Question number 3. Diabetes mellitus is typically caused by a person not producing enough or any insulin to handle the sugars they consume. What organ is responsible for producing insulin?
Locked in.
In.
I locked in.
I'm going to lightning strike.
Ooh.
What are the scores again?
Oh, come on.
Well, at the
Wow.
at the end of last round, Andy 77, Davo 83, and you won 34.
Yeah, let's go and hit Dave in the face.
And somehow Andy has survived all of them. So congratulations, Andy.
First time.
When you've been in the third place the entire game, there's not really any reason to.
Well, I didn't point it out, but I was trying to look on the bright side, you know?
Oh, I don't ever do that.
All right. Let's
He doesn't even have to think about those responses. They're just there.
All right, let's start with Kel, shall we?
The pancreas.
Andy
Pancreas.
and Tavo.
Oh, thank you.
It's one of my favorite things.
It really is.
I really wish it was a permanent part. I understand why it's not, but it needs to be. Yes, it is the pancreas. All right. Question number 4, and the final question of the normal rounds. What is the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes mellitus? And for a bonus, for 2 points each, what is another name for both?
I'm
I
locked
don't
in.
think that's the right. I don't think that's the right difference.
All right, I'm locked in. Wow, I'm locked in. Ugh.
I'm gonna lock in.
Okay, let's start with Andy.
Type 1 diabetes, your body doesn't produce enough insulin. Type 2 diabetes, you don't respond to the insulin anymore.
Okay. Davo?
I always thought type 1, you were kind of born with it, and type 2, you developed.
And your bonus?
Type 1, I had as juvenile diabetes, and type 2, I have as Krispy Kreme diabetes.
Wow.
I think we should rename that.
That's
Kels?
insensitive.
It's very type 1 genetic, and I said type 2 was acquired. Like you developed that. And I said sugar.
Okay.
Oh, honey.
So my answer is that in type 1 diabetes, you were born with it, and your
Woot.
body does not produce any insulin or very, very, very reduced insulin to the point of insignificance. Type 2 diabetes mellitus is something that develops, although not necessarily always through faults of your own, because you can have gestational diabetes.
Yes.
And that's
yes,
when
yes.
your body stops responding as well to insulin and can also eventually produce less insulin. Now, for the different names, is type 1 is called juvenile onset diabetes mellitus,
Woot.
and type 2 is adult onset. However, I have heard it called sugars in the South, so I didn't write it in my paper, but...
But have you heard it called Krispy Kreme diabetes?
So I think for that one, I don't think Kels got the correct answer, but we'll give him a point for sugars. Davo got the answer correct, I think, with one of the 2 alternative names, so 11 points. And Andy got the answer correct for 10 points.
All right. What is the final score count, Neil, before we do the final question?
My final score count is Andy has 107. Congratulations for breaking triple digits.
Yeah.
Davo 114 and Kels 155.
All
Okay.
right, I'm coming for you, Kels.
You ready for the final question?
So
Yes.
you are, I just want to clarify, Davo, you are coming for Kels because you're closer to his house than I am.
Yep.
So if you can just
I'm just
specifically.
warming it up right now. It's cold outside.
Okay, just checking.
I'm just glad nobody knows where I live.
That's
I don't want to
actually
go out in
true.
the country and find your house, man.
I drive plenty, but I'm not driving all the way over there. So that's between you guys to suffer. All right. So for your final question for our lovely medicine quiz, which is basically a giant ball of science, is what are the top 10 reasons for inpatient stays during 2017? And it's 2017 because I couldn't find a list for the other one. So I'll give you a hint. COVID's not on it.
Thanks.
Right.
You're welcome.
Through the magic of editing, the next 10 minutes will feel like 10 seconds.
In 1957, Laika became the first animal to orbit Earth. What kind of animal was Laika?
What is the only team in the Big Four North American sports leagues which shares its name with one of the Avengers?
And here's one more question for you. Are you the type of person who enjoys playing trivia games, learning new things, and having a bit of fun along the way?
If you are, or if you just want to find out the answers to those other questions, then our podcast, Quiz and Hers, might be right up your alley.
Each week, one of us writes new trivia questions for the other person, covering everything from science to history to pop culture to sports.
And every question in a game relates to some theme, like Game of Thrones,
Internet memes,
sandwiches,
or animals in space.
Some of the themes make more sense than others.
So if you like trivia, learning, or real couples testing each other's knowledge and patience, check out our podcast, Quiz and Hers, part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network.
Quiz and Hers, the trivia podcast where we test each other's knowledge and the strength of our relationship.
Did you enjoy that cold one? They're back now.
All right, I am.
Daniel needs his medicine.
I got 5.
I wrote 10 things down.
I'm done. I've got my 10.
Oh, okay.
I got
All
my
right,
10
all right.
too.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
The answers are giving birth,
Yay.
Got it.
septicemia/sepsis,
No.
Yes.
osteoarthritis,
No.
Oh,
No.
no.
heart failure,
Yes.
Got it.
COPD,
Yes.
No.
Nope.
childbirth complications,
No.
Oh, no.
I figured that'd be under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
Mm.
childbirth is more like just having the baby, and then childbirth
Yeah.
complications would be excessive bleeding afterwards or something like that.
Gotcha.
The next answer is acute myocardial infarction.
So
Nope.
We'll take
So
heart
heart
attack
attack?
if you have it.
I got it.
Oh, cool. Yep.
Diabetes mellitus complications.
Diabetes.
Got
I have
Diabetes.
diabetes. Well, I have it on my paper, not
Right.
Got it.
personally.
Got it. Pneumonia
Got it.
and cardiac dysrhythmias.
It's like a regular heartbeat.
Pretty much, yes.
Don't got it.
Nope.
Don't got that.
All right. So how many did you get there, Davo?
I got 5.
So 5 brings you to 164. You're currently in the lead, Davo.
Yay.
I got 4.
That gives you 147. You are currently in third place, Andy.
Thanks. That's where I started.
I got 4.
That brings Kels' total to 195.
Wow.
Well, congratulations, Kels. And
Well done,
a surprise to no one, you won a sciencey show against the 2 liberal arts majors.
I promise my next one won't be science.
Well, Daniel, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you for having me. I've been a long-time fan.
It's a great, great set of questions. I learned a lot, and I hope everybody out there has learned a lot as well. So from all of us here at the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast, this is MC Dave Oho with Kels.
I don't know.
Minute.
I don't know what that was.
It sounds like MC Ho.
Dave. Oh, like,
It was MC
what's-
Dave. Oh,
Oh, okay. You got BGs with it. Okay, nice.
yeah.
I lost my train of thought. Go to Andy.
Yeah, me too, because I didn't know David
All right.
was
You
out.
want me to do that again? I'll do that again.
No, it's perfect.
No,
it's
that's perfect. It
Just,
really is.
just go to
Spot on.
Good night, everybody.
And Andy.
So long, little brainers.
And Daniel.
One of my favorite quotes from JD and Scrubs is, maybe the best thing to do is to stop trying to figure out where you're going and just enjoy where you're at. Very relevant
Nice.
in these COVID times.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Neil.
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate, and let it flow into me.
Oh,
Wow.
LP5K. That's so great.
Oh my god.
He was feeling left out.
Yeah.
Was
Fair
he?
enough.
We hate to leave him out. Oh,
Yeah.
signing off. Thank you.
Hello, little brainers. I am so pleased to be talking to you here on the wireless, and I thank you for letting me into your rather common home. If you want to learn more about us, you could be checking us out on the tweeter at Ladle Brain. I'm not sure what the tweeter means, but I understand it's really important technology that we defeated the Nazis with. Okay.
I got this.
All right.
Check out our Facebook page, Brain Ladle Productions. Go there now. Do it. Do it now.
Davo, Andy, what are you two doing?
Promo.
That's not how we agreed to do this.
Well, you do it then.
Okay. Well, if some more quizzing is what you've been missing, you can check us out at brainladle.com. You can get your fix in the mix.
Mr. President, please, we need to get to the end of the show. Just check us out on Patreon for more exclusive content. And at the $10 level, you get an invite onto the show.
Have you done the best acclimation between a dog and a cat that I've ever seen is you put them in your kitchen,
cage match,
lock the doors, drop a knife in there, and see who comes out.
That is catastrophic. I think they cut both of their paws, and then we'd have to spend a lot of money getting stitched.
Yeah, see, the problem is Dave shops at Bed Bath Beyond Thunderdome.
I do.
That's where you get that stuff from. So
we're not even through category 3, and I got to crack open another one.
My favorite part of Allison's pregnancy was when you opened that up, and then she was just upset.
He was so disrespectful.
That was my favorite running joke, for the record. That's me calling you funny, Davo. You missed that.
I appreciate. Thank you.
Sadly, we edit these shows. We only leave one of those in, but they're usually every category.
Thank you very much.
Depends on how much science is there, and or math.
Yeah, he's Las Vegas Frank Sinatra by the end of these.
I did it my way.
That would explain the outros.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I don't know where the lightning bolt sound effect is.
All right, we'll just
declare the lightning bolt
episode. We'll substitute Lightning McQueen's like ka-chow or whatever.
Andy, you have to make it like audibly now.
Right.
It's on you.
Well, here's the thing: lightning bolts don't really make sound anyway. So
I have to make myself look smart in post, and now I have to do that too. Okay.
Yeah, it's lots of pressure.
Some might say
it's a big project.
Yeah, ka-chow.
Yeah.
I got 0.5.
Wow.
Yes.
We don't do fractions.
So
if you've got an Excel spreadsheet, you can run the world with it.
Hey, I'm just trying to let Neil use his Excel spreadsheet to the fullest.
I mean, I can do fractions. I said we don't do fractions.
We don't do fractions. Yeah, this is a dunk contest after 97. There are no points.
There are no fractions.
Number.
Just know that sometimes your best isn't good enough.
Neil's words, not me. Not me.
Wow.
Not me.
I know that, Neil. This show has taught me that very clearly. What kind? Okay, this might be going too far afield, and if you want to edit this out, Andy, go ahead.
Well, we're at the 1 hour mark in category 5, so yeah. Can't wait to edit this one.
I'm gonna ask the question then, jackass.
Yeah.
Is Allison talking smack while we're recording?
No, she's talking to the dog.
Okay, because I thought we're doing so poorly that
she has no idea how poorly you're doing.
Great.
Yeah, don't worry, she has no idea how much you're bombing right now.
No clue.
You gotta do the thing where you gotta say so long, everybody. Whatever it is, you're signing off, and that's why I play the music.
Oh,
you haven't done
signing
that part.
off.
There you go.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I always felt dumb just saying that, but apparently it's a good thing.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.